Hello everyone, just a quick video in relation to HRV apps and kit that you may need. So the two I prefer, and this is a personal preference, are HRV for training, where 4 is a number, not a word, and Elite HRV. The kit can go from really inexpensive to really expensive kits with medical grade kind of certification. However, these two have been proven consistently to provide very good data, especially over a period of time. So I'm totally happy with that. Also, the use can be changing the type of kit that you may require. So for example, if you want to understand a baseline, a daily snapshot first thing in the morning is perhaps more than sufficient. Whereas if you want to see what specifically affects you during your day, this is where you may have to invest in a different type of either test or kit and take an ongoing HRV reading. But let's focus on the first two. So HRV for training, I find it perhaps a little bit more useful for sport applications, although it's not limited to sport applications. Whereas Elite HRV, I tend to prefer it for general population. So for example, for diabetics or general patients who want to understand the impact of the sleep and stress response. Now, with HRV for training, if you have one of the latest Android phones and a iOS device, so an iPhone, the camera at the back of the phone is sufficient. So once you buy the app, that's all the kit that you need. There are a few things that you need to be careful, and these are all explained in the HRV for training blog from Marco Altini. In a nutshell, try to be as still as you possibly can with a very good routine. So just making sure that you take the measurement exactly in the same way day in and day out. So the methodology is very important. With a lead HRV, you may need a heart monitor or a sensor, like a finger sensor, or that is actually suitable. In the Elite HRV website, you have more information. However, I tend to use a Polar H7, which is reasonably inexpensive. Here in the UK, goes from 40 pounds upwards, and seemingly cycling shops seems to provide the actual best price. Now you have also the Polar H10, which is the newer model, but bear in mind that these will constantly have Bluetooth enabled. So if you want to take an ongoing reading, I would not personally suggest to have the Bluetooth always on. So the reason why I prefer Elite HRV more for general population is because it also gives you the ability to take snapshots during the day and have 1 minute snapshot. So perhaps you think, okay, so I want to measure my HRV every day after work, or you want to do a test with food, for example. I've used that very successfully with food. The reason why I prefer HRV for sport purposes is because the app provides you with great insights. So it looks at different aspects of HRV over a period of time. You can also put on your tag. This is on both. So both Marco Altini and Jason Moore from Elite HRV have provided great apps that you can use. This is something that is really simple, reasonably inexpensive, if not inexpensive at all. Whereas for more complex ongoing reading, I have used a company called First Beat, which is a two-site medical grade device that is used very well and very successfully, and that would provide also an online diary, so you will be able to pinpoint where are the biggest stress in the day, and when something that you may think was actually relaxing, in actual fact didn't turn out to be as such. Something that I have been testing and reasonably impressed by it is something called Zoom HRV, which is this device here. Provides snapshots during the day and also is precise enough to provide you with HRV suitable data. So HRV are the variations between the heartbeat, and most of the camera PPG type of readings are not normally good enough to provide good data. Is either the signal is too flat, or if it's left as unchanged as possible, then it will have too bigger variations and too much noise within the actual data. Marco Altini and both Jason Moore have provided blogs with quite a lot of information in there. So you may want to check those out. If you want to use the first bit, you need to contact the company. I tend to use the device called Bodyguard 2, especially with patients if they can't really understand what is happening during the day, but this is superfluous at the start. Normally, just a simple snapshot first thing in the morning is more than sufficient. I hope this helps, and I will keep posting.